Okay, Shalom family. I was just here, thought I had recorded this and it didn't record. So let me start over again. So today what I'm doing, this is Sade, your girl. So today what I want to do is um, share some amazing facts about the Negro, our history, our ancestor history. It's short, not going to be long. So let's start off with the first amazing fact about some of our inventors, creators, poetry, musicians, scientists, civilizations. So I'm going to give uh, a couple on art and then another couple on civilization. So the first one I want to mention is Benjamin Banneker, which I didn't know this. Benjamin Banneker, a Negro astronomer, made the first clock made in America in 1754. And it shows the clock there. Now, this is a Negro sculpture of Grimaldi, and it says Grimaldi, the oldest known woman or Negro woman, 10,000 years ago, 10,000, between 10,000 and 15,000 years ago. It says it was carved by a Negro sculpture of Grimaldi raised from 10,000 to 15,000 years ago. It is called the Venus of Willendorf after the place in Austria where it was found, and it's in the Vienna Museum, 10,000 years ago. Okay, now we're talking about Beethoven, the world's greatest musician, was without a doubt a dark mulatto who was called the Black Spaniard. He was called the Black Spaniard. I see they always name us. It's like, why can't you just call us by our name, our tribe? But no, they want to always tell us who we are and what we are. Anyways, I digress. It says he was called the Black Spaniard. His teacher, the immortal Joseph Haydn, who wrote the music for the former Austrian national anthem, was also a Negro as well. Now, I didn't bother to search a picture for a photo for him because in this book it doesn't give that much. It didn't give any information on him in here. Okay, so there's two different photos of him here and here. Now this one right here, I could not find anything on this person here. It kept bringing me up with his Spanish man, probably because of the Spanish name. But anyways, he said he was born in Africa, Congo parents, as Almalongo, Mexico, about 1710, year of 1710. He wrote verses that were so popular that they entered into Mexican folklore and were printed annually on the calendar of Mexico until 1872, talking about 112 years after his death. That's how much they loved his folklore. Boy, I may go back and try to search and see if I can find some of those folklore poems that he wrote, because I think it was poems. He was a writer of poems, and they entered it as Mexican folklore. Okay, let's talk about a couple of ancient civilizations. Elam, a mighty Negro civilization of Persia, flourished about 2900 BC and is perhaps older than Egypt or Ethiopia, perhaps. It says one of its later Negro kings was Kedor Nakuta, conquered Chaldean and Babylon, and brought back to his capital, Susa, rich treasure, among which was in the famous statue of the goddess of Nana. Later it became the capital of Cyrus, the great and Darius. Susa is the Shushan of the Bible where Esther, the Jewess, sought the favor of King Ahasuerus of Persia and Ethiopia. Our people wasn't called Jews, they were called either Israelites or Hebrews, actually Israelites or Hebrews. even before the Israelites, because before there was no Israelite before Abraham. Even during yeah, even during the time of Abraham is when Isaac had the son Jacob and Esau. Then Jacob had 12 sons. Those 12 sons became the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, the ancient civilization. Now, Sheop, I think that is a actual he's a author and a historian. I think I got mixed up with Ivan van Sertima, which is another great writer and historian. Anyways, it says a Negro built the Great Pyramids, one of the seven wonders of the ancient world. It is 451 feet high, has 2,500,000 blocks of granite, each 2.5 tons, covers 13 acres, took 100,000 men 30 years to build, and was completed in 3730 BC. That's a long time, 30 years. And a whole lot of men, 100,000 men, 100,000 African men. You know what I can understand is, and I have books here showing, and I mean it's all over the internet, how Hamitic African Egyptians, how they really look. I mean, they were from the line of Ham. Ham was the progenitor of some of the black races like the Ethiopians, the Libyans, uh, the Canaanites, but not the Negro, not the Shemitic people, but Hamitic people. Ham's the progenitor of the Hamitic people, which is a dark-skinned race, and which is still in Africa. You find a lot of them over there in the Sahel area too, like Niger, um, Mali, Burkina Faso. They're all mixed with the Shemitic and Hamitic people over in that area. And that's a whole different story that's going on over there right now because the Westerners are after they're not only their land but their culture. They're trying to rewrite Africa's history, just like they're trying to rewrite ours here. But they got a hand, come on, billions of young folks over there. They got a hand, they got to get a handful because there's young people over there that's not going to let them turn out Africa to no European country or continent. Because that's exactly what they're trying to do. They want them resources. They can care less about the people. So, anyways, that's one of the civilizations, seven wonders of the ancient world. Now, here's the Elamites. Elamites is from the line of Shem, which make them Shemitic individual, Shemitic people. So, and also you find a lot of Elamites. You find the Elamites even in India, as far as India. I'm going to share that before I end this. I wanted to add that on here, but I can still share the writing. So anyway, it says Elam, a mighty Negro civilization of Persia. So I just thought I'd show you how they look. And this is on the ancient walls of Persia, the Persian walls. And look at the skin color. They're darkly melanated men. They're a melanated nation. Just like the Babylonians as well. My daddy looked like a Babylonian. I was looking at some of those Babylonian men back in ancient time. Boy, my daddy looked just like one of them. Anyways, let's go to the next slide. Okay. So here it says there are at least 18 Ethiopians, 18 Ethiopians or unmixed Negro rulers of the ancient Egypt. And it says the best known of which is Hayeki, leaving his country in Central Africa. Hayeki conquered all Egypt to the mouth of the Nile in 750 BC. And like I say, the Nubian was nation builders. They built nations from the Nile up through Mesopotamia, through Euphrates, up through India as well, and beyond. They're all over the world building nation builders. But you don't find that in our curriculum They're just not teaching that kind of stuff in school. In fact, they're trying to take what little they do have in school, they've taken it out. So it's up to single mothers, even married mothers and daddies and everyone else to teach these young people about their ancestor history so they can grow up thinking they have to be like some other nation, that they have a great history behind them. And they need to learn that because they're taking it out of the schools. They're definitely taking it out of the schools. So it's up to the parents to teach their children. We need to do that. As like I said, single mothers, even as an auntie, I have nieces and nephews and great nieces and great great nieces and nephews, and I'm always trying to tell them about their history. They need to be looking and searching, researching that stuff, and learn about so they can teach their children. Because again, they're not going to teach it in the school. They're taking all that stuff out of the elementary school, high school, college, um, probably graduate too. Who knows? It's just crazy what's going on. So the last one is the Negro lived in America 1,000 years before Columbus, who claimed that he discovered the America. No, he did not. Anyway, so there's a book from Ivan Satima called They Came Before Columbus, The African Present in Ancient America. So I'm going to read this little paragraph. It says, Negroes lived in America thousands of years before Columbus. Central America Monument shows numerous carving of them as gods. When Columbus came to the New World, Negroes had been crossing from Africa to South America, a distance of 1,600 miles. The first white man who reached the America mainland tells of seeing Negroes. Columbus, who visited South America, said that he had heard of them there. So if he heard that they were there, then he couldn't have discovered the America. But that's what they have in the history books, which is a lie. I'm going to go ahead and read this. It says, the present Negro race of Africa perhaps did not originate there, but Asia and Oceania. The earliest inhabitants of Africa were not black but brown. Today, the people of mixed and unmixed Negro descent living in Asia and Oceania, wait, I'm sorry. It says today the people of mixed and unmixed Negro descent living in Asia and Oceania probably exceed in numbers the present Negro population of Africa. India has millions of Negroes. The purest Negro type are in Southern Asia. In 1923, Dr. Joseph Rock, United States Department of Agriculture, discovered a hitherto unknown Negro race, the Nakis, 200,000 in numbers in southern China. In 1934, E.W.P. Chenery discovered an unknown Negro people in New Guinea near Australia. He reports that they have a civilization superior to their neighbors who live under white rule. This is back in 1934 and also 1923. So I'm going to end this. This is for educational purpose and it's also food for thought. You all need to get into our history, learn it, and teach it to your children, your grandchildren, your great-great-grandchildren, your aunts, your uncles, your aunts, and everybody else, because they are taking this stuff out of school. And they're also, I'm telling you something else. I was looking on the internet for a book. They're either raising the books like $3,000, $4,000, and also they're scraping the internet too. And then when I go online and try to get it from Amazon or some other place, it's still the same. They're selling these books for historical books and high prices. So anyways, I hope you all enjoy this. Again, pass this information on and I see you on the next video.